So, blue-red prowess. Now, the concept of the deck is pretty simple. You play these cheap prowess creatures, and then you play a lot of non-creature spells, instants and sorceries, and some enchantments, maybe, to pump them. But the real difficulty in building the deck is finding the right balance between creatures and, of course, the right choice of non-creature spells. For example, how many of these 1 mana cantrips do I want to play? Now, I see a lot of people playing the full 8. So 4 copies of Expedite, 4 copies of Slip Through Space. And I think the reason why they are doing this is that they are thinking about a Kiln Fiend deck. Now, Kiln Fiend is a creature that gets +3 attack every time you cast an instant or sorcery. So if you have a Kiln Fiend in your deck, then of course you want the Slip Through Space, just making the Kiln Fiend unblockable, and then cantrips, so having as much cantrips as possible just to cast multiple spells is enough to win the game. You just attack for 20 with a single Kiln Fiend. But in this deck, the plan is different. You cannot win with a single creature. They don't do enough damage. You want to play multiple creatures and then pump them all by playing a turn when you remove all of the blockers, either by killing them or bouncing them, and then you pump your creatures even more, and then you hit for a lot of damage. So just making a single creature unblockable is not enough, and having all of these 1 mana cantrips that have no impact on the board is just gonna slow the deck down, I think. So if you're playing against creature decks, you're gonna suffer from having too many of these cards because you're spending 1 mana to do nothing in terms of adding things to the board, while your opponent is spending all of his mana to play creatures and removal. If you're playing against a non-creature deck, a deck full of removal, these are even worse because the opponent is gonna kill your creature in response, or you're just not going to have targets for these. You will not be able to draw a card out of them. So I decided to play only 3 copies of these cantrips. I just don't think that the effect of just temporarily pumping the creatures that I have is worth dedicating to so many cards. And aside from that, I have the glory chasers. I think they are pretty good in a deck that can remove blockers very efficiently. In general, I tried to focus on red as the dominant color, and try to limit the number of blue cards. I do not play the Marine Tanglers, so that I can play more red lands and have a more consistent mana, I hope. I'm playing this Jace, which I'm not sure about, but it seems like it could be good. It's easy to flip with all the cheap spells that go to the graveyard, so and of course lots of cards to flashback. And then I'm playing the 4 copies of Infectious Bloodlust, which I think is still the best option against mass removal. This card just wins against decks that rely on mass removal to beat aggro, because, well, first of all, you get the card back when the opponent plays his mass removal spell, then you play another creature, you enchant it, it gains haste, you're immediately attacking for 5 damage right after your opponent tapped out to play a mass removal spell. And you can just keep going. The fact that it replaces itself means also that every time you recast an Infectious Bloodlust, you get additional prowess triggers and so on. But the real reason to play blue is the access to powerful card drawing spells, in particular Fever Visions, which is not obvious at first, but it's actually the strongest card in the deck, I think. It's almost unbeatable by slower decks. You can bounce creatures to their hand to keep their hand full, so the 2 damage every turn is the really important part. But also the fact that drawing cards is gonna help you more than your opponent most of the time, so this card is really important to win against control decks in particular. Jori En also quite good, it's easy to draw one extra card every turn. Jhessian Thief a bit less good because I would like to draw my card before attacking, so that I can draw more spells to pump my creatures. Lands, mostly red, only 2 lands that come into play tapped, and there are these 2 wandering fumaroles. Firecraft for extra reach, Chandra, which is easy to flip, so I like playing her, and that's about it. Okay, blue-red prowess. I'm gonna try to pause the video. I'm gonna mulligan this. I have no 1 drops or 2 drops. Oh, this is much better. Although only 1 creature is a bit risky. Yeah, my opponent only really needs 1 removal spells to stop me. Hopefully I will draw something more. So as I was starting to say, I will try to pause the video when nothing is happening, to try to reduce the dead time. Alright, well, the only... yeah, this is really bad. This 1 untapped red mana is horrifying. But given that I kept this hand, I think the only thing I could do here is play Bloodlust and hope that my opponent doesn't have Fire Impulse, which he doesn't. So still, I don't like having just 1 creature. Really need to draw something good here. Okay, at least it's not an Oath of Chandra. So I have no reason to bounce this. I would like to draw a card and find a creature though, so I will play Expedite and see what I draw. Normally you should target your opponent's creature if you're afraid that they might have instant speed removal. Anyways, what I can do is bounce the advocate to enable spell mastery. So if I clutch now, then I can, during my opponent's turn, kill the advocate when he goes to replay it. Yeah, that's the best way to play this turn without wasting mana, so I'm gonna do that, even though bouncing the advocate is not important. If I had another play, I would do something else. Okay, so he just replaced the advocate, and I think I kill it now. Even though I have this creature in hand with prowess, but I have limited mana. So I'm just gonna play the thief, attack, and hope that my opponent doesn't have radiant flames. Okay, so he has Reclamation Sage to destroy the Bloodlust. That's pretty strong. I think Titan Strength, huh. I don't think I want to bounce the Reclamation Sage, although drawing a card and dealing a lot of damage is pretty good. I can deal 8 damage, put my opponent to 1 life, and it's not like I have another enchantment, so yeah, I'm gonna... let's play Titan's Strength first, just to see what I have on top of my deck. Oh yeah, that's definitely a good one, almost certainly... well, now that I see... now that I see Fever Visions on top, I kind of don't want to bounce these anymore. Yeah, let's just attack. My opponent has 6 cards in hand. He's just going to die to the visions. So I could put him to 1 here, but I think just planning to play the visions is best. And yeah, my opponent concedes. He doesn't have a way to remove my creatures. Okay, only for 2 damage. I see. So I would just, I guess, play visions, attack for 2 damage here, and draw a couple of cards. Yeah, maybe a premature concession for my opponent. Expedite, okay. Yeah, and now there's nothing my opponent can do to save himself. Alright, yeah, pretty good hand. Play fumarole and pass. So now I know that pretty much every other land that I grow is gonna become untapped. That's pretty good. And I think I'm gonna lead with the bully. It's just, I don't know, it's bigger, attacks for more damage. It dies immediately. Yeah, that's a reason to play Stormchaser instead. 3 toughness, pretty good. Oh, it's the mirror. Wow. Okay, well, I'm gonna... It's pretty interesting. So what happens, what horrible things can happen to me if I leave back Stormchaser to block and then use Titan's Strength? My opponent could have his own Titan's Strength. And then if he has another spell like a cycle expedite, he can actually save his creature. That would be a really bad trade for me. What I could do is block without casting Titan Strength, see what my opponent does. But he could still, yeah, it's only really bad if my opponent has Expedite plus Titan Strength. Definitely playing Stormchaser. And I'm on the play. I could just attack here. Attack and pump it, and then next turn attack for massive damage with the bloodlust. I really don't know. I'm gonna skip this attack. It's only 1 point of damage. Let's see what happens here. Well, that makes everything much easier. Now if he attacks, I definitely kill the Stormchaser. But he doesn't, which is wise. Chandra. Playing Chandra seems an interesting option. I could attack, kill the Stormchaser, play Chandra. It dies to any kind of removal that my opponent could have, though. But if I wait to play Chandra, there's a lower and lower chance of flipping her. Alright, I'm gonna... He already played one fire impulse. I'm gonna try to play a Chandra and see what happens. So I'm gonna attack here. He takes it. Jhessian Thief is fine. Expedite on the thief is very good for me actually. I can block it with Chandra and kill it. He's also attacking with Jori En. I think it's better to kill the thief just to prevent the immediate card drawing. Jori En overall might be better, but well, I'm gonna block the thief. So just gonna play stormchaser and do I wanna leave stormchaser back to block? That's pretty interesting. So I can protect my Chandra. She's gonna flip as a 5 loyalty planeswalker. Let's do that. So I'm gonna play it with this sequence. I'm gonna play the bloodlust, attack with Chandra. I'm basically dealing the same amount of damage that, well, one less damage I guess, compared to playing the stormchaser before and attacking, but I get to have a blocker, so I think it's better. Now I get to deal 3 damage. And I can also start attacking with the fumarole. Clutch of Currents on the enchanted stormchaser. And Fall of the Titans. Wow, that's really powerful. Now I lose everything. And he draws extra cards. And I take 3 damage. Yeah, this card is interesting. I don't know if I want it. You know, I don't have a lot of lands in this deck. Alright, I'm just gonna play the bully and attack for 1. Yeah. The fact that my opponent has Jori En and I have no way of killing it is gonna almost certainly cost me this game. But we'll see. I can still draw some removal. Okay, attacking with everyone and killing the bully. Oh, and killing the other my creature. Okay, and drawing a card. Yeah. And now I'm just dead. Oh well, I'm gonna try to block the Jori En. Yeah, it's very likely that I should have killed Jori En instead of Jhessian Thief when I had the chance, but probably made the wrong choice. Okay, just attacking for 2. And I'm dead. Okay. This hand is not keepable. This actually on the play, I'm gonna keep it. I can use the Titan's Strength to look for a land. I also have a Fire Impulse that I can play. Okay, let's hope to naturally draw my land. Nope. But I drew Fever Visions, which is a very good card, in my opinion. Okay. Keep the land. Okay, very slow start from the opponent. That's good. I'm just gonna play the bully. And I really hope to draw another land. I have the combo of visions plus clutch. So I think if I draw land and my opponent doesn't have enchantment removal, I have a pretty good chance of winning against what looks to be a slower deck. Island and nothing. He could also have a counterspell, of course. He could have a bounding crisis. Let's just attack with both. He's gonna play a crisis. Okay, interesting. Oh, I see. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a second red mana, otherwise I could pump and kill the crisis. Still, I can have my bully survive. Yep, I'm just gonna Titan's Strength, looking for a land. There's nothing else that I want, so that's a good card, but I want the land. Sylvan Ranger, putting more cards in my opponent's hand, so making the Fever Visions better and better. Okay, I can kill that one with the Fire Impulse. Didn't draw my land. Yeah, I think I just impulse the advocate. The option of using clutch on the ranger is interesting, but because I have the visions in hand, but I'm just gonna attack for 5, allowing my opponent to champ, which he doesn't, which is interesting, very good for me. Dusk Watch Recruiter and another one. So do I finally get to play my fever visions? Nope. Well, in that case, I guess I play the stormchaser. Start dealing small chunks of damage in the air. Attack with everyone. If my opponent wants to double block the glory chaser, it's fine. Eight life. Sadly, I've lost. I have missed so many land drops. I lost my opportunity to play these when it would have almost certainly won me the game. But playing it next turn will still be good if I draw the land. Probably has another crisis. Nice. So he could also have a counter spell. Well, I'm gonna play the visions anyways. If he's got a counter spell, at least I get the trigger. Okay, looks like it's resolving, so probably bounding crisis is coming. Pulse of Muraza, returning bounding crisis or advocate probably makes more sense. Though I have a flying creature. Okay, see what I draw. And this exquisite firecraft is uncounterable, so if my opponent is indeed playing counter spells, there's nothing he can do because I have spell mastery. Though gaining 6 life definitely helps. And if he's not gonna play... Oh. Well, that's fine. That actually ends up dealing him 2 extra damage and also lets him draw 1 extra card. Pretty interesting. From Beyond with 7 lands. Well, I need to kill my opponent quickly. That's certain. And now he's gonna play the classes right now just to save himself 2 damage? No. And that's a good play because this guy alone can deal much more than 2 thanks to the Titan's strength. So what do? I think I just firecraft my opponent and then clutch the classes. Clutching the classes is not great. It's better to clutch the Sylvan Ranger actually. Playing Bully doesn't seem good. He's got endless tokens here. So let's start by firecrafting my opponent. He's gonna play classes to tap my mage. Yep. And then I'm gonna bounce the advocate, ranger, Sylvan, but not the same. Well, and I draw a useless land. So opponent very close to casting Ulamog. He replays the ranger. Interesting. I assume he will not choose to use the ability. Yep. But can he play 2 cards? Okay, probably he can. Disciple with 1 mana to tap my flyer. Isn't Disciple bugged in this version of the game? Oh, I draw firecraft. So let's just finish the game. It's uncounterable, so even if the Disciple was functional, there's nothing he can do to... Also I can pay... Well, I could have played my land to pay, but... Uncounterable, spell mastery, opponent at 4 life. And... yeah, that doesn't do anything.